Okay, Chris, that was wonderful, wonderful class. I always say this every video, but I think despite the Wi-Fi problems and stuff, I think this was a really good class. Um, I think we broke some ground on using like a like the slide technique, just hearing the little nuances in the using like a tremolo system and just hearing vibrata and all that good stuff. It's going to naturally come out in your playing. It just it just happens that way. I want you to try the technique a lot so you can kind of like not necessarily pay attention to the frets, but the smoothness of sound that just goes from one note to the other. Where just kind of like listen for those types of things. I like using this. I think it's kind of better, but just kind of listen to it. As far as like when you're playing, if you feel play how you feel, right? If sometimes we want to go right, and what I'm doing, like, and you do it all, you also do this, but we naturally doing that when we get to the low notes. Um, it's just something that we naturally do because the feeling is it's taking you there, so you're kind of giving an accent to that note, right? And I'm like midway in between the two octaves. All right, so you know when I'm going to those high notes, I'm kind of there's a lot of tension there, right? You see the shoulders and everything. That's what's happening on the inside. So when we use something like a slide, something for a slide, actually I think the battery was kind of clear, so I'm going to continue on with that. Just hitting the one string. When we use this, or like like a bottle or something, and we focus, what we're focusing in on is not necessarily the note, the sound, yes, but what's actually coming out is your feeling. It's kind of like uniting with the tone that you're hearing when you're at a certain point. Right? You're just kind of going with the flow, and the feeling and the tone are kind of working together. Sometimes when you're hearing a tone, the tone itself might inspire you to go to another tone. Like you may feel like another tone needs to be there at in a higher octave, or a lower octave, or higher direction, lower direction. Um, this this is what I mean by it's like the two become united as far as the feeling and the sound. They become connected and they kind of drive each other. You've heard it said you're driven by like your mood or your feeling when you're playing. Sometimes when you're at a certain note, that can start the process. So your feeling might actually follow the note that you're hitting, and it's a lot of times it could just be like that one note might start something. So it's very unpredictable, but you have to be. It's a question of being open in the moment for these things to occur. All right, so I'm going into this because even though the Wi-Fi was bad, I was hearing a lot of your ideas, and it's really coming together. The notes that you're choosing to play over the certain rhythms, and like with the that one, the Autumn Leaves song. I saw what you were doing there when you were when we like you were playing the chords, and then we went into the exercise where you were doing like a scale conversation or call response between the scales, like the major, the G major. When you took your time with it and you went into the pentatonic, you started your G major started to sound like your E pentatonic, like you were playing that major scale with a certain kind of feeling. It doesn't mean that it sounds like the blues, but what it sounds like a you're making some kind of deep connection with the notes that you're playing. Right? So it was kind of like that. And then you had, of course, the blues, and but that conversation was sounding a little bit different this time, and there was a lot more feeling in it. So put those things together because the sounds are becoming more and more interesting. And when we play some of the standards, because I think we should play more standards. There's a song called, I think it's All of Me, Take the A Train, those kinds of things. Um, but the song that we're going to cover is the Stevie Wonder song. So the Stevie Wonder song would be. Right? So that's the gist of the melody there. And the rhythm would be. Okay, so that was just a rough go through of the chord progression. All right, and so we have the melody there, and that's going to be the next thing that we're going to tackle. And then we'll go and we'll do some different things, um, like some songs where you could play like the bass, the rhythm, and the lead all at once at the same time. And it will be like one really neat package of melodies and all kinds of cool things. Um, so we're going to play around with a lot of different ideas and approaches to music. So join me for that and keep doing what you're doing, my friend. You're doing a really good job, and I will see you soon. God bless.